good, fellas? Another beautiful day out here in Medellin, Colombia. I hope all is well with you guys. I know we have a lot going on out here in these COVID-19 international streets, but we're gonna push through it. Today's topic is probably today's video is probably one of the most important videos. No, you got some cats that troll, they watch the videos the trolls. You know, it's gotta be. What type of man would sit there? I just never understood the type of man that sits there and actually troll. It must be rough to scare to leave your cold, dark apartment, knowing it's a good chance you will get robbed at one point. Interesting, man. I'm all over Medellin. I was in like 3 robberies in America. Like, bro, like right there. They robbed the grocery store, they robbed everybody. You can get robbed anywhere, player. All right. We in the building. It's been a little minute, man. How's everybody doing? How's everything going? We are live coming from you from Medellin, Colombia. Another beautiful day in Medellin. Let me check on in with the family. Shout out to Xavier Lancaster. What up, Xavier? Shout out to you, brother. We did a really dope Patreon video about Eastern Europe. You guys join the Patreon. Check it out, man. Really good, dope information. And this brother got hella receipts in that video, man. So shout out to Xavier Lancaster. Shout out to my guy, it's Jay Clyde in the building. What's going on with you, Jay Clyde? What's good with you? And we in here, man. Guys, today, this is probably one of the most important subjects. This is a very, very important video, man. So I want you guys to check in. And, in your comment section, give your thoughts and your opinions on this. But this video right here is kind of changing the narrative a little bit, because I know this is not one of the things that we talk about within the Black community. Other groups of people talk about this a lot, having 2 passports and dual citizenship, traveling around the world, becoming a global citizen so you can get benefits in this type of country, in another country. So this is a very, very important subject, man, for you guys. I know that growing up within the Black community, you taught that America is the best country in the world, hands down. We get taught that from our parents, our friends. Why would you want to leave America, right? But as you can see, things are rapidly changing because of COVID and because of other things at play right now. The government increasing taxes, massive tax necks all around the globe. If you're an American citizen, they're changing the tax code as we speak, the Biden administration. And we're not going to get too much into politics. I really want to talk about on this video more so the benefits of having dualship and how you can possibly obtain your dual citizenship. Now, it seems like a lot of brothers are like, we're kind of like at the last to the party. Black men have less passports than anybody. I think Black women actually have more passports than us. Everybody has more passports than us. So right now, at least within this movement of Black men travels, we're just trying to motivate brothers to get their passports so they can travel the world and increase their options. Because, as Black men, man, speaking from, amongst brothers here, we're so used to being on the other side of the table. What do I mean by that? I mean that we're so used to doing the serving. We're so used to giving, right? And people benefit off our hard work, our hard labor. We fought in this country. And I'm going to get into a conversation after the sponsorship commercial of how it led to this topic, hanging out in Medellin, Colombia, at a little bar, and we had this conversation. But we're so used to serving others, whether that be working for a company, making the company millions of dollars, whether that be, giving away your time, your energy, coaching inner city youth, whatever you're doing, we're so used to giving. And sometimes, like when it comes to something that benefit you, we kind of have a deaf ear to it, because we're so used to getting entertained, right? But in this video right here, we're talking about dual citizenship, becoming a global citizen of the world, being able to buy land in different countries, utilizing your American dollar as leverage. It goes a long way the further you get away from America. And other groups of men, they've been doing this for years, but we just don't have these conversations because our pops didn't tell us, our family didn't tell us. We don't get educated like that to know that, hey, man, everything is, situated to where, you're in America and you're just thinking a certain way. You're thinking you're in the best country to be. And there is a lot of benefits to being an American, period. It is a lot of benefits to being an American. And I would never suggest for guys to renounce their American citizenship. That's a personal opinion. But there are large benefits. And you do have countries that are setting things up for you to be able to become a citizen of that said country, like Ghana, who, if you take a DNA test, like an African, you have to take the African DNA test. If you take that test and you find you have some lineage in that country, you could possibly become a citizen of that said country. So this is a real important conversation. But we're going to get into it, man. We're going to do a quick little video of our sponsor, El Luis Cigars. We're going to jump right back into the subject at hand.
Turn that up real quick.
Louis Cigars, 1927. It took us probably about 2 years to get here, but right now we feel like we have some of the best cigars on the market. And if you give us a chance, you'll find out.
All right, man. Shout out to Ella Louise Cigars. The link is in the description. It's Ella Louise Cigars 1927.com. Hand rolled premium cigars, black owned company based out of Houston. They have a warehouse in the Dominican Republic, and they have a really good process of making high quality hand rolled cigars, man, with some of the best leaves, not only from the Dominican Republic, but from Nicaragua and other countries around the South American Caribbean as well, man. Shout out to these brothers. I'm gonna show premiere the last video I did for them. We shot a video down here in Medellin, Colombia, man. A dope little video promoting LOE cigars. So I'm gonna show that video at the end of the stream. And this video should motivate you guys and let you guys know that you can handle business overseas. These type of opportunities that we're talking about. You know, brothers going overseas, opening up a company, you know, hiring the locals. The government is benefiting off what they're doing, their company, because they're hiring people and they're putting money back into their economy, man. So major move. Shout out to the guys at Ella Louise Cigars. Make sure, you know, you smoke cigars. Even if you don't smoke cigars, man, just support, because you might have a business one day that you want to get started, and I help you with your business getting it out there as well, man. So you get a chance, man, check out Ella Louise Cigars 1927.com. And I'm going to premiere the video at the end of this stream. So, fellas, let's get right on into it. Hey, man, first off, who all watched the Locks Dipset battle? We're going to get into it, but I just want to get people's opinion on that versus, man. You know, it was good to see. Like, it was like a, you know, it kind of like a rehabilitated real hip hop, you know, that New York style, aggressive battling flow. And it was no holds bars. In my opinion, I didn't think Dipset did so bad. I'm gonna catch that super chat in a minute, man. I appreciate that $2 super chat, James Best. I didn't think Dipset did so bad. I will say that the Locks had just a better performance, you know. And there was a lot of joking around, a lot of aggression. I thought it was gonna get to fighting a couple of times, man. But it was cool. It was just cool to see, you know, brothers able to joke around like that, still be aggressive, still be masculine, but still perform a very good, entertaining show. That was one of the most entertaining verses that I've seen so far, besides, you know, the Jeezy and some of the other cooler verses that they had. But that was definitely a good little show, man. I was definitely shocked. Shout out to Jadakiss. Jadakiss really murked it. I expected a little bit more for Cameron. But the thing about Dipset, you know, I got to give Diddy a little credit where credit is due, because it seemed like because the Locks had that experience of actually knowing how to perform, knowing how to have stage presence, you know, how to engage the audience. They're not just sitting around with a mic. I feel like one of the main reasons was because Dipset, you know, it's more like a swag rap. You know, Jim Jones had his chain get put on. You know, it was just like, come on, guys, we just want to see you perform. We don't care about your clothes and your jewelry. And I think that's where, you know, it wasn't such, the catalog was so much better than the other catalog. I forgot that the Locks had so many hits, though. I forgot that whole Bad Boy. You know, Bad Boy ran hip hop for a good, 3 years, maybe 3 years. When Biggie was popping, then Mace came in. So it was just good to see, man. You know, we're going to get into the subject, but it was definitely good to see. But I didn't think Dipset did so bad. Yeah, get those likes up. My brother said there are better rappers from Harlem than Dipset. He said Juice kept forgetting his rhymes. Yeah, they was getting on Juice, man. We got 64 in the room. That's what's up. That's what's up. We're going to go ahead and get to rolling on the subject at hand in a second. But it was good, man. Xavier said, "Lock, Slaughter, Dipset." You from up there that way, right, bro? Yeah, I know they're better. I know they're better rappers in Harlem. But it was just good to see an old fashioned hip hop aggressive battle. They weren't performing each other's songs and nothing like that. They just went back and forth. And they were talking Cash Money ish during the whole performance. Man, it was funny, man, because I don't know if Dipset were they couldn't have been intimidated. I just don't think that they were prepared because the Locks was popping a long time ago. They were popping in the mid to late 90s. And Cameron then kind of came a little bit, after the success, with Rockefeller and everything. So I think a lot of people, including myself, have forgot that the Locks had a good little catalog. And I don't think Dipset came in there with a legitimate plan of a cohesive performance. You know what I'm saying? Where, they really was into it. Cameron just kind of seemed like he got booed off the stage for his freestyle. I think Jadakiss and the Locks were practicing. You saw they did like a little prayer before the beginning of the show. So it was good. At the end of the day, it was good. But yeah, the Locks did demolish Dipset. And I would have put all my money on Dipset beforehand. I would have put all my money on them beforehand. But hey, he said Dipset was like Milli Vanilli, Xavier. Yeah, man. Okay, so shout out to Eric Hall. Let's go ahead and get to the subject, fellas. He says, I'm working on dual citizenship now, using the same playbook immigrants use when they come to the States. Yes, that's good. Good business, brother. Shout out to Xavier. He says, I'm from New York, and I'm a brick in the foundation of the Rough Riders family, so my viewpoint might be a little biased. Yeah, I think it was Dean up there. But I saw cats with the Rough Riders shirts up there during the performance, most definitely. All right. So, fellas, back onto the subject here. Okay, so what led me to this subject is I was eating at a bar with a friend of mine, and a guy came over, the owner of the bar, white guy, cool white guy, and we're just talking and discussing things. We're having a good conversation, watching the little, I think it was the NBA playoffs was on, and he was just discussing what was going on currently in the United States. Older white guy, probably late 50s, early 60s or something like that, opened up a business here. Shouts out to him. And he was just saying that, he said, first of all, if you're a man of means and you get married in the States, you're an idiot. If you already built your wealth racket up, you got your stuff together, you got a few properties, a few houses, nice portfolio. If you get married, you're an idiot for that. We just saw Nelly turn down a woman he was with for 7 years. She wanted to get married. He went ahead and broke up with her. So the topic of the conversation was basically like, yeah, marriage. If you're a man of means, it could be an issue. Now, if you both coming up, you and your wife make around the same income, it might be beneficial to you, even if it doesn't work out, right? She gets the house, you get the stock portfolio, whatever it is. But we were just talking about, how the issues in the United States were due to marriage. And then it formed into race politics. And the white guy said to me, he said, man, if you're a black man living in the United States in 2021, you're an idiot right now. And it kind of threw me off a little bit. Now, my partner with me at the time, he was like, he kind of like shook it off. He was like, yeah, that's kind of true. I can kind of agree with that, depending, the racial turmoil going on in America right now. But as a American citizen, right? A foundational Black American, as my great grandfather was the first Tuskegee, one of the first Black airline pilots in the United States that died fighting for this country on a reconnaissance mission in the plane crash in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. I feel like a lot of Black men, we do have a lot of stock in America. We fought in every single war. We've died. We've been on the front lines protecting this country. We built this country literally with our hands, our ancestors. So we do have a lot of stock in the United States. So when there's somebody from another says something like, well, being Black in America, you're an idiot right now. You should be living overseas, or you should maybe go back to Africa, whatever. His point was, in cases like that, you don't have to get emotional about it. I just kind of just shook it off. But I thought about it. It is some truth in what he's saying. Not in the fact where a lot of black men have to leave America necessarily, because I do believe America is one of the best countries to be in to, pile up your resources. It has an incredible financial structure to where you can get your credit right. You can apply for business loans. You can get your business credit right. It's a lot of opportunities in America for black people. I'm not going to take that away, okay? But in certain cases, you got to think about your lifestyle, because America is becoming increasingly expensive to live. Regardless if you have great credit, regardless if you have a nice car, a nice home, you got to ask yourself, how much does it take to me to maintain this home? All right. And you have to wonder yourself, okay, how is my quality of living? How's my stress level? How do you feel being that? I had a very nice size house. Not a mansion, but I had a very nice ass house in Atlanta. And I was tell you right now, I was not that happy of a guy. I wasn't miserable or anything like that. But, it was like, did I really need the 5-bedroom house? And it's funny, man, because some people make comments. I see there's a couple of trolls. Got a couple of trolls that make fun of my, there's like, you got a little apartment in Columbia. I'm like, bro, I could fit 5 of these in my house in Atlanta, okay? So, and that's not to boast or brag, but it's just, some people, try to troll you like, you this and you that. They don't even know you or what you come from or, what level you at. Anyways, the main thing I want to say is I want to get brothers out of the habit of feeling like they have to suffer and be miserable, because that's just the way it is. And in 2021, things have drastically changed. And I'm going to get into the benefits of having dual citizenship, because there's a lot of financial benefits to having dual citizenship, because when you become a citizen of another country, you can purchase land in that said country 9 times out of 10. And a lot of times when you're a foreigner, you're not able to purchase land. And land worldwide is still one of the best vehicles of building wealth. I mean, we got crypto, we got sales. I love crypto. I love sales. I love selling. But land is still, a big deal. All right. And right now, from what I'm hearing, what I'm reading about, because I keep up, I read the Wall Street every day. That land in Eastern Asia, man, is getting bought up. Land in Africa is getting bought up. And they're coming up with laws to stop foreigners from purchasing so much agricultural lands. So these are things that we got to be on top of, because it is a lot of opportunities to having dual citizenships. All right. And one of the biggest benefits is just not only having more options, right, within whatever country, and we're not going to get into the particulars of which country you want to have dual citizenship. Each country has different benefits. It's a lot of different benefits. Africa has its benefits. Ghana has its benefits. If you want to be a citizen of Eastern Europe, they have some benefits. Whether it's in Asia, it's different benefits. So you get to choose what country you decide to nationalize in. And once again, I'm not giving you suggestions of what country to choose. I'm not telling you to renounce your U.S. citizenship. I'm saying that there are some benefits, and guys have been talking about this for a very long time. Because right now, I'm trying to tell you guys, the Biden administration are changing a lot of the tax code. They're putting a large market out because the American, they're like $11 trillion in debt right now. And a lot of people riding around these PP loans and they're doing all this stuff. And the government's going to want their money back. And they're going to get their money back through ridiculous taxations. Let's talk about another thing, just besides the finances. Let's talk about the freedom you have if things do hit the fan in America. And I'm not one of these guys that have a doomsday outlook on America. I'm just saying it's been situations as black men, this is particularly what I'm saying to us, bro, where you have black men that have been incarcerated innocently for something they did not do. They have DNA evidence 30 years later, and this guy was in prison for 30, 40 years, rotting in prison that whole time, and he comes out, he gets a forgive me check, well, they call it a forgive me check, which means he has to go out there in the public, he has to say that he forgives the police department, he forgives the district attorney who knew he was innocent. They don't even get any time for false framing black men in America, and this is one of them little options that you have, right? Oh, I gotta do 30 years here. Wait a minute, and I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying that the draconian sentences that America gives out to black men is ridiculous. And you might want to have options because that same guy, in certain cases, you got two guys who did a crime. One guy is foundational Black American. Another guy was born in Jamaica or Haiti or something, so he's a citizen of that country. Same crime. Foundational Black American, 10 years mandatory. The Haitian guy gets deported. He goes back to Haiti. He's free man. Okay? So you see what I'm saying here? I'm not suggesting to do crimes or anything like that. I'm just giving you an option, bro. And that's a very important option because things can hit the fan. It's plenty of black men that have been framed by the judicial system so that they committed a crime. And in certain cases, they know that this black man did not commit that crime. But he sat there, he trusted the American judicial system and was set in prison 30, 40 years for something that he did not do. Why would you sit around for that? Why would you even play with that, knowing the track record that they have with us? That's just another benefit. All right, guys. Let me go ahead and get to some of the comment sections. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. God, you got guys out here. I run into them all the time. I go to different little hostels and hang out. Like the little hostel circuit here is very dope in Medellin, Colombia. You can go out there. You don't have to actually stay at a hostel to hang at a hostel. Okay. Some of these hostels have little restaurants in them, little bars in them. You got one hostel that was in my old neighborhood that had a pool. So when you have these, hostel circuits, you would talk to guys from Canada, you talk to guys from Africa, you talk to guys from different places. A lot of cats from Europe are out here, Bulgaria, and the English language bonds you, especially if you're not a fluent Spanish speaker. It takes a little time to learn Spanish, trust me, guys. So, the English brings you together and you start having these conversations. And these conversations, somebody says, hey, Aaron, do you have dual citizenship? I'm like, no. Oh, well, let me tell you the benefits of dual citizenship. I have a Canadian citizenship and I have a United States citizenship. And this is how I do this. This is how I save thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in taxes every year. So not only do you have a financial benefit to having dual citizenship, dual passports, you also have more of a freedom benefit. And then you have guys that's even in some of these Western countries, like Canada or something, who says things like, well, I don't like data market there. I don't want to get married in Canada. So that's why I decided to become a citizen of Bulgaria or a citizen of the Eastern Europe or whatever, whatever they decide to do. They decide to set their roots up elsewhere. Shout out to Prince O. Let me go ahead and answer that quick question. He says, thoughts on Punta Cana for bros? I don't suggest Punta Cana unless you're either with a girl or you're with a family. Personally, I like the North Coast. I've been to Punta Cana, I think, one time, and it was cool. I had a female with me at the time, but if you were a single guy, I would suggest going to the North Coast, like in Puerto Plata or whatnot. Not necessarily Sosúa, but, somewhere in that little area of Puerto Plata. North Coast is pretty cool. I've had U.S. Trinidad for 30 years. So another benefit, guys, of having dual citizenship is the ability to take advantage of a country's social services as well. I believe in Europe you got free healthcare, so you have access to free healthcare over there in certain countries, which is definitely a benefit. You'll have extra travel privileges. And believe it or not, even though with your U.S. passport you can travel to a lot of places, there's certain places you can't travel to because they don't want Americans, because the American dollar is so high in regards to their dollar that they don't want Americans coming there to take advantage of the exchange rate. Advantage is like buying land, buying property. They don't have any laws in place. They'll just say, hey, no Americans can come to this country. And it's rare. It's not a lot of countries like this. I think it's like maybe 15 countries that Americans can't go to currently right now. But if you have a dual passport, you might can go there and utilize your American dollar. These are conversations I'm having with some of these successful traveling millionaires out here that have land in Cambodia. You see what I'm saying, guys? Like you got a lot of people rushing to Cambodia buying property. So these are conversations that we're having. I'm just giving you the information, the benefits of maybe obtaining your dual citizenship. Now, if it doesn't apply to you, if you want to just have your American passport, hey, it's no problem. Okay, guys? But, it's something to think about. It's something to put in your brain, down the line. Say, you know what? I got some, Ghanaian bloodline. I took a DNA test. I got bloodline from Ethiopia. I got a little bloodline from South Africa or whatnot. Maybe let me see what kind of privileges I have if I become a citizen of that particular country. Oh, they got free healthcare? Okay, cool. Now you're starting to set up roots in another country. If things do hit the fan for you, whether it be personal or whether it be just America is tanking, period, where the whole economy is tanking. It's a lot of things. Like the Biden administration has a lot on his plate right now due to COVID. Like, I don't know. I hope he has a really good vice president or he has a very good team because right now they have to do a lot to fix. And I heard that America was going to start shutting down again. Right now, for you guys to know, Medellin is wide open right now. There's no curfews. There's no quarantines. There's no toque de queda. You can go out. You can party all night. No problems. But I will say this. I have known a few people to get sick out here. Not to stray away too far from the subject. But if you do come out here, you want to do two things. And I'm going to do another video today about some tips before you come to Medellin. Because so many guys are coming to Medellin. A couple of cats are getting sick from the food. Some might be getting sick because there's a little bug going around. I was under the weather a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to tell you guys some things you can do further in the next video. But one of those things is you want to make sure you build your immunity up. And I'm going to go ahead and get back to the subject. But if it's your first time coming out here, I'm going to just suggest this, and I'm going to suggest it in the next video I do today. You might want to take some probiotics to adjust to the fungi, the different fungi in the food, because this food, they don't have any GMOs from what I'm hearing. Everything is pretty much natural out here. And believe it or not, your body might be used to that type of fungi. So I had a couple of cats came out here, they ate, and they all got sick. I don't think it's anything wrong with the food, but it's probably because they didn't build their immune system up with the probiotics before they came out here. Shout out to Jaws203. He said Cambodia is one of the few places in Asia you can get a passport. All right. So shout out to Jaws2003 for that information. Mike Lauer says dual U.S. allows dual cis win. Bro, you can get a dual citizenship. Yes. That's another thing. A lot of disinformation. Oh, you can't get citizenship in another country. Yes, you can. Nobody stopping you from getting citizenship in another country. What if it's a situation where you got some grandparents in Nigeria or something, or they need help? You got to go out there. You got to move out there to take care of them. It's certain situations you can definitely get dual citizenship. Like I said, it's benefits. A lot of these guys are really taking advantage of the American dollar. We sit around, we work really, really hard to invest in certain avenues to get a return. But one of the best avenues is going to a country and leveraging your U.S. dollar. $10,000 U.S. goes a long way around the world, even here in South America, where it's relatively close to. 10,000 U.S. goes a long way. 10,000 in the U.S. does not go that far. All right? So keep that in mind, too. Also, once again, taking advantage of the certain privileges you have of being a citizen elsewhere, whether your kids get free education, whether you go back to school and get free education. I believe in Poland, you can go to medical school for free. It's all types of little benefits you can start doing your research on, looking up. These cats in these hospitals, a lot of them do have dual citizenships, man. So you want to be a citizen of the globe, basically. You want to be a global citizen. That way you have more options, period. And as a man, options are very, very important, guys. All right? I want to read his comment real quick. He says, shout out to Todd Maik. He says, Biden has the least popular vice president since the 70s, as well as his team is essentially BlackRock Corporation. We won't get into much of the politics. With that being said, yes, explore and exercise all options you have to your advantage. Very good comment, brother. Very, very good comment. All right. Shout out to Rich J. See, we're getting information here because now we came up with a decent topic to talk about. And then everybody's giving out good information. Shout out to Rich J. He says some countries charge U.S. citizens, but with dual citizenship, you may not have to pay. Most definitely. I definitely agree with that, Zay. Zay says you also learn the language of different countries you choose to become a citizen in. Most definitely. So that's what we're talking about here. Dual passports, knowing 2, 3 different languages. All right. So you have more options. You have options to date the women, in these said countries. You have options to maybe purchase real estate, purchase land in whatever said country, to benefit off the different privileges of that particular citizenship of that country, whether it be free healthcare. You can reduce your taxes dramatically living overseas. Okay. You got a 1-bedroom apartment in Atlanta right now in a decent neighborhood might be $1,700. All right. You can be in a decent neighborhood. Let's just say take Medellin in particular. You can be in a very nice apartment, very sizable apartment here for $700 to $800 a month, and you're standing in one of the most expensive zip codes in Colombia, where it's relatively safe here because they have a lot of police officers here. All right, so if you make your money online, where you do e-commerce, and you're in the States, and you have to pay so much to just maintain and live, you got to pay car notes, car insurance. That's another thing. Having a second passport is just kind of like it could possibly be just an insurance policy for you. If things you file bankruptcy, things don't work out, and things sometimes just don't work out financially. Money ebb and flows, man. You're not always going to be up there. Sometimes you got money out in the street, you're flipping it, you're doing whatever. You got different businesses that are draining your funds. Things get a little low. Hey, I'm going to move to South America where I can really focus on my business. I don't have to work 2-3 jobs in order just to pay bills. That takes away from my business. Because I know a lot of you guys have, a lot of men in general, have dreams. Can you fully support your dream if you're working 70 hours a week? I used to work 70 hours a week in America when I worked for the post office, even though it was part-time during the holiday season. I used to work and have to give all that money back away for bills, mortgages, insurance always is going up higher and higher every year. Even if you don't have an accident, your insurance always goes up. Medical care. I had one of the most expensive medical policies ever. I was paying a humongous amount of money per month for medical care in America, and never got sick. So where'd all the money go? Who benefits from all the money? Those are the type of things, that you have to think about. And once again, as a black man, some of the racial problems in America right now, where things seem a little slighted, things can go left very quickly. You can get pulled over. They can say, hey, man, where is you at? They pull you in the interrogation room. Where is you at? Such and such. Oh, I was at, home chilling, watching the game. Oh, yeah? Oh, you got any witnesses? No. Hey, I think you did it. What did I do? I think you murdered a jogger in a park. I'm not making this up. This has actually happened. All right. You've got black men that was at their apartment or at their home, sitting in their home, blamed for a crime, and had to sit there 10, 15, 20 years because the district attorney want to get their numbers up. And then all of a sudden, DNA evidence comes out and, hey, oh, yeah, my bad, you was innocent. Oh, wow. You did 30 years in prison. Oh, well, it is what it is. Hey, here's a check. But the time doesn't make up, or the money doesn't make up for all the time you lost. And if you had children, you weren't able to raise your kids mad at you and whatnot. There's a lot of certain pressures that black men face in particular. Now, being a man is rough in general. Don't get me wrong. But it's certain institutions in place in the United States that it's in their best interest to curtail you into some BS, basically. I'm going to go ahead and get to some of the comments. Rich J again with another comment. He said, with dual citizenship, you would not have to stand in the custody line for non-citizenship if you're visiting that country. We got 111 in the room. That's what's up, man. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button for your boy. Let me go ahead and put that like button up there. Smash that like button for me, fellas. Let's get back to some of these comments. We rolling in here, man. We doing good. All right. Shout out to Jaw 2003. I like this. I like this exchange of information, man. It's a good exchange because a lot of brothers are listening. They're going to listen to the playback and they're getting information. Now they're thinking like, okay, I can get insurance overseas. Yes, you can get insurance overseas, guys. And it's much cheaper, by the way. Jaw 2003 says, getting a high deductible health plan can give you access to a health savings account. You can use it overseas as well. When I had one, it worked great in the DR. Most definitely. But you got to be careful, man, because I have had some complaints about some of these insurance companies not wanting to pay out when things do happen. All right? Because a lot of these foreign hospitals, we want to get cashed out before you leave. So be careful with that. Shout out to Delano Music. I haven't heard from you in a while, brother. How's everything going? He says, word of advice, buy property using the LLC. Good point. Very good point. I've done that as well. That does for domestic and foreign real estate. Man, we had a really good interview. I want you guys to search the archives of videos. We had a good interview by a brother named E. Dean Cole, who in that interview, he gave you everything you need to know to open up a business overseas, and creating a holding company, all that good stuff, where you can get funding and not even worried about where your particular brick and mortar business is, whether it's in Russia, whether it's wherever it is, you can get U.S. funding. So, guys, it's an E. Dean Cole. I believe it's part 2. It's a part 2 interview with E. Dean Cole. He has a shout out to him. He has a restaurant in Puerto Plata. If you're out there, go holler at Atlanta Lights Restaurant. I went out there. The food is great. Just want to give him a quick shout out. And once again, you got brothers doing business overseas. Shout out to E. Dean Cole with Atlanta Lights. Shout out to our brothers at Ella Louise Cigar. Shout out to Flip Flop. You can do it, guys. You can do it. You can open up different businesses. You can have to do citizenship. You don't have to sit in America and suffer if you don't want to. In 2021, you got a whole lot more options than you had 30, 40 years ago. 30, 40 years ago, we weren't even having these type of conversations. Right now, I'm trying to convince brothers just to get their passports in general. Now we're talking about getting 2 passports and having dual citizenships. Because now we're elevating. We're going to the next level of becoming a global citizen so we can have more privileges, so we can have more freedom, so we can have more financial freedom, where we don't got to pay such a large amount in taxation for our labor. Okay, guys? Because believe it or not, in my opinion, America does owe a heavy debt to African Americans. Will it be paid? I don't know. This is not the show for that. But you utilize that American dollar, utilize that financial structure in America. All right, you can take out a certain business loan in America, and you can use that funds to fund your business elsewhere. And that's one of the most powerful things about being an American citizen, right? Access to America's financial structure, whether it be through loans, whether it be through credit. You have access to funds that can change your life and in certain cases change the life of other people. Because people, believe it or not, America, at least in Colombia, and I'm sure other countries too, we do have a decent track record of finances. Meaning, when you're an American, especially here, even in Colombia, we're known for paying our rent on time. All right, we're known for paying extra on top of that because we're gonna get taxed when you're a foreigner, believe it or not. And people like to work for Americans. They know Americans have money. They know Americans pay. In certain cases, in some of these countries, they work for months and not get paid. I see it all the time in the Dominican Republic. I hear it in certain cases even here, where I had a little female friend of mine who'll say that she worked for a company for 2 weeks and they didn't pay her. They just didn't pay her. She had to go to bat. I had to go with her to go to the person's house just so she can get her damn paycheck. So the thing about Americans is we usually don't play about people's money, because we know in America you can get sued. In America, everybody has guns. So, I tell people all the time, they ask about America. I'm like, oh, no, in America, you kind of are forced to pay. Not forced, but that's just what we're going to do. We're going to pay our bills and we're going to pay our employees. Okay. Like it's a situation, where we're going to pay. And I think that Americans have that track record. So in certain cases, if you are buying a business or buying a property from someone, right, and they're selling a building, and they got a choice of selling it to a local, and they have a choice of selling it to an American, and they can put a little extra on top because the person is American. When I say extra, it might be a couple thousand, it might be 10, 15, 20,000. I have seen that before. They rather sell to that American. All right. All right, shout out to Todd Mike with the comment. He says, we are currently getting ready to dip off to Mexico. I just got rated 100% PNT, and my wife is rated 40%. We outie in crypto investment for a second retirement. Shout out to you, bro. Congratulations, bro. Mexico, okay, that's what's up. Hey, don't forget about us in Colombia, man. Stop by Colombia when you get a chance. Shout out to Rigo Taxi. Shout out to you, bro. So, guys, not a long show today, man. I just want to, sum that up. Think about it. It's something to have a conversation with. Ask some friends and family about it. Hey, man, you hear anything about, getting dual citizenship? If you don't have a passport, I suggest you get a passport first, and then, take it to another level. You might go to a country and you might love it so much that you decide to start a family there. And that's another thing. If you are one of them guys that do want a family, keep in mind that, okay, if I want a family, let me look at the educational system of that country. Let me look at the healthcare of that country. Is it a better deal for me to raise a family in Ghana, in Colombia, in Brazil? Do I have a better chance that I'm able to leverage my American dollar to be able to spend more time with my family? Are the women cultured enough to where you can raise a family? Right? Do they not mind, cooking and cleaning and serving a man and what he's doing in his legacy, raising kids properly? Do you have a better chance of doing that overseas? You can do it, of course, in America, but in America, if things hit the fan and they get the court system involved, you already know 9 times out of 10 that the court system is going to kind of be on the favoritism of the woman 9 times out of 10. Maybe in certain countries, is that favoritism is not there. In certain countries, child support is capped, and child support should be capped. Alimony is capped in certain countries. That's one of the things as a man you got to think about. How is this going to benefit me? Get out of the bad deal situation, the being miserable. Oh, this is just the way it is. No, you can change the situation, man. I promise you can change your situation because I changed my situation. You can do it too. So, fellas, with that, I'm going to go ahead and premiere the Ella Louise Cigars video that we shot down here in Medellin, Colombia about a couple of weeks ago. Turnaround was a couple of days for the edit. Shout out to you guys, Ella Louise Cigars. We'll go ahead and get into the video.
Louise, I love you. Ella Louise. Ella Louise. Ella Louise. Ella Louise, I love you. Ella Louise. Ella Louise, I love you. Ella Louise.
I broke a million heart, never thought it could happen to me. I broke a million heart, but never thought it could happen to me. I've met the wrong woman and I'm just as unhappy as I can be. I thought love was a game, could be forgotten most any old.
Try that one more time, guys. I didn't catch it.
Ella Louise. Ella Louise. Ella Louise, I love you. Ella Louise. Ella Louise, I love you. Ella Louise.
I broke a million heart, never thought it could happen to me. I broke a million heart, but never thought it could happen to me. I've met the wrong woman woman and I'm just as unhappy as I can be. I thought love was a game could be forgotten most any old.
All right. So, guys, that was the new Eloise Cigars commercial. Make sure you check those guys out at EloiseCigars1927.com. Premium hand rolled cigars. So, guys, I appreciate you checking into the show. And once again, it's just an option, man. You know, something to think about, something to put in your brain. You know, it's a possibility. You travel in the world, you find a city, you find a country that you might love, that you might want to set the roots up in. You find you a good woman. The exchange rate is good. So, something to think about. Peace.